Alright, so I wanted to talk a little bit about migrant workers. Because I recently just saw an article that had quotes from Ontario's Premier, Doug Ford, stating that for migrant workers to come into our country, not even our province, but our country, it's a privilege. That's what he said. Now, I'm not sure how familiar y'all are with regulations and how things work in Canada or Ontario, wherever. But migrant workers, or the farmers, whatever you want to call them, they come over from, usually it's South America, or Mexico, the upper part of Mexico. But that's their livelihood where they are. Like that's what they're born into. That's what they know. So they're skilled at it. They don't need training for it either. That's their life. So that's why our government loves to bring them over, because they know what they're doing, and the government can pay them cheaper. I believe it's cheaper for the labor because they're skilled. Yeah, but I'm not sure how it's a privilege when they're coming over to do the work that our own citizens won't do. Either the people like me who can't do that work because it's too much for our bodies to handle. Like my body wouldn't be able to deal with it. I wish I could, because I would totally be there. Like, but I've even had to give up my dog grooming job too. So I mean, anyway, so they're the people like me who are disabled enough that we can't do the work, so it's not an option for us. Or they're just everyday other people that won't do it. They're too lazy. And that's just straight up what it is. They're too lazy. I mean, unless you're like nowhere near a farm, that's obviously an exception, because unless you're going to travel 5 days to get to a farm just to come back every day, like that's impossible, obviously. So unless like you're going to just travel that time and stay there and then travel back, you could do that. It would just obviously be, you'd have to work out the math of if it would work out or not to be worth it, if you'd make any money. But for people that live in the proximity of these farms and they're not disabled, there's no excuse to not work at one if you need a job. If you're not disabled and you live in the proximity of a farm, and you're wanting a job, you need a job, what's stopping you from going to a farm? Other than laziness, what is there? I'm open to people comment whenever your opinion, whatever, but I don't see another reason why you couldn't do it. So our own citizens will not, for the most part. There's maybe 5% of our people that do those jobs, and freaking kudos to them, because that's amazing. I mean, they shouldn't be being praised for doing work. That's what you should be doing if you can, if you physically can. But good for them for not being lazy, I guess. But yeah, the most of our people won't do those jobs because they're just too lazy. And so our government has to bring in these migrant workers from overseas. Overseas or down South America. Either way. I'm sure they both come in, but fly them in. Anyway, so our government has to bring these people in to do the work that our people won't do. And they get treated like their living conditions while they're there, while they're here, because they're obviously not gonna fly in every day and, like, you know, they're here for the season and then they leave. It's just a seasonal, that's how it goes, obviously. So the living conditions where they do live is, it should be against human rights, standards, whatever, to live like that. It's disgusting. And for people that are doing the work that our people won't do and they get treated like that is just... Why? Why are people so cruel? And they have long work days too. Like farm work is, I'm sure people know, it's sunrise to sundown, 12 plus hour days. And it's labor. That's why people with disabilities can't do it, because it is hard labor. It's not much to fucking pick a fruit from a tree and, you know, put it in a basket or whatever, but all day repetitively, and then carrying those baskets in and whatever. Like, I'm sure there's more than I know about because I've never done it, but it's little small tasks that are easy, but the whole thing is hard labor. And you're in the sun, too, most days. I'm not sure if, I would assume they work in the rain, if it's raining. I've never seen them work in the rain, but I'd assume. But maybe they don't. But they work in the sun most days. They have beating hot sun. It's crazy. Much respect for those people. But for those people to be treated the way they are, either by housing, the lack of, or by our community, the way our society, our community views them is just gross. They always look down on them, and those are the people that put food on your plates, that put food in the stores that you buy. Unless, of course, you make your own food, which, again, self-sustainable, good for you. Yeah. Like, have some respect. But the original point was at our premiere, Doug Ford, who has a disgusting view on these farmers. He thinks it's a privilege that they are here. No, Doug, it's not. They're here to do the work that your people won't do because you won't make them. Same with our Prime Minister. He should be making them do it too, but Doug is the Premier of Ontario, the provincial person. He has the power. He should be making people that are able to and that need a job do those jobs, but he won't. It's just frustrating and it's disgusting that he and other people have that opinion about the farmers. How about he not go to a grocery store, not go to a department store, not go to a store? Don't get any food from anywhere aside from stuff that you make, you grow yourself. I would like to see Doug Ford and Justin Trudeau do that. And then come back and say, it's a privilege to be here. That's all. I think I've ranted enough about that. So, see you guys next time. Bye.